we didn't see each other on that trip. Unfortunately, it took for us to go on vacation for like everything to kind of like come to the forefront. Military. He was retired military. I don't know if y'all know what that means. I feel like you have to go through that. So I show him the number to call. And do you know Grandpa had the nerve to get loud with me at the table in front of the employee? A lot of like stares, because I feel like everybody just wanted to know like what the fuck is going on. Like, is that your daddy, your boyfriend, your cousin, your uncle, your godfather? Like, who the fuck is this husband? Fully nude, hanging, everything hanging, because I'm still looking out for him as any good granddaughter would do, because at this point, that's what the fuck I guess you should just call me, his granddaughter. Because I'm damn sure not that man's boo.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Welcome to my channel.
Y'all know the vibes. Gotta have my hookah every time I do a story tea with Bree here on my channel, so that way everything can just flow and we can just get into it. So if this is your first time tuning in, I want to say welcome to my channel. But if you are a returning supporter or a subscriber, y'all know the intro. Thank you again for tuning in yet again to another episode of Bree on TV, where I am your host, Bree. I don't know if you're watching this like on your big screen, on your phone, or your tablet, while you're in the shower, so you're just like listening to it, not physically watching it. I always inform y'all to grab yourself some hookah if you do hookah, or you can grab yourself something to drink, just so that way y'all can vibe out with me on the story time, because at the end of the day, we're going through this together, okay? Don't leave me hanging. So my choice of shisha for today's video, I'm gonna put it on the screen because I want to verify, because I always mix my shishas. I never just like smoke one solid flavor. Like, who does that? I don't think I've ever really lived a normal, easy breezy cover girl type of life, because I don't know, life just be lifing and I just be in the mix, and then next thing you know, we sitting here talking about a story time with Bree. In today's story time, it is in regards to a vacation in St. Lucia gone wrong. Like the ultimate flop. The ultimate flop. I know y'all thinking like, ooh, when I go to St. Lucia with my bae, like we gonna be doing this, we're gonna be doing excursions, we're gonna be touring, we're gonna be sightseeing, we're gonna be fine dining, we're gonna be, you know, doing our little Caribbean dances, dirty one and stuff. That's exactly what I thought too. But it's just me and the particular person I went with, we didn't see each other on that trip. Unfortunately, it took for us to go on vacation for like everything to kind of like come to the forefront. Let me put down the hookah, because I really want to talk to y'all, okay? So, how did I meet, what's his name? What we gonna call him? We're going to call said man Grandpa. I know. They're probably like, Bree, why we calling him Grandpa? Because he probably was one of y'all's grandpas. Like, he was somebody's grandpa. Let's just keep it at that. Y'all will know more as the story time flows. But right now, it's important for y'all to just know he was somebody's grandpa, okay? So me and Grandpa met at a lounge that is on his side of town, which is Snellville, Georgia. A girl who I used to work with in nightlife. You know, you still keep in touch with people that you know, used to work with in nightlife. I was in Snellville. She's a bartender there, supporting her. So I'm at the bar, got my hookah. Let me get the hookah. I'm vibing, okay? Just know that. I'm always vibing. Got my hookah. We're chit-chatting. I'm peeping out the scene. The owner of the lounge is African. So they have a lot of different, like, not themes, but this particular night was jazz night. So in the midst of it being jazz night, I guess it brought out a lot of, like, older heads or granddaddies, you know? So I'm vibing at the bar. Got my hookah. And a gentleman, he comes and sit next to me. So I'm friendly. So I am actually the first person who said something. He sat next to me, but like he was by himself. So, and he legit sat right next to me, like at the bar, because it's a small bar. Like it's a small lounge, small bar. So he sat next to me. So that's what initiated conversation. So we're talking, we're getting to know each other. And then he proceeds to tell me more about his life, himself, things like that. He actually lived in the surrounding area of Snellville. So if you aren't familiar like with Snellville to me mainly like has a lot of houses. I mean, they may have like apartments and stuff, but I don't feel like people really like live in Snellville for the apartment living. I feel like if you living in Snellville, which is like 45 minutes to an hour from the city, 9 times out of 10 is because you are wanting to get the bang for your buck house-wise, which means like you'll live in an extravagant house with a basement, sometimes even in a gated community. Like you can do whatever you want. You can customize that extravagant house of yours. And so that was his situation. He had an extravagant house, theater, bar, all of that. And so I'm intrigued why he's like telling me this, because that's not really common here in the city. You know, most people just like live the high-rise situation and so forth. So as he's like telling me more about himself, I'm kind of like, hey, that ain't nothing but a word. You know what I'm saying? But basically, I was intrigued in the conversation. He's very like forthcoming to like let you know like about himself. So by the time that we both left that lounge that night, child, I knew how many kids he had. I knew like where he was from. I knew how long he's been living here in Atlanta. I knew about his success in the career field that he's been working in. Child, I knew when he was planning on retiring. That's how much information, like I guess he's like proud of his accomplishments. And so he may not have like a lot of people to like talk to or share this information with. And so because I was so friendly, I knew a lot about him within that one setting. That's basically also military. He was retired military. I don't know if y'all know what that means. I feel like you have to go through that experience to really know what it's like to deal with somebody who's not only been in the military, but retired, gave the military 20 years of their life, been deployed, came back, all of that. Yes, he is retired military. So I do want to say, if you know, you know, because that is a different type of breed of men. We start hanging out and he enjoys going out, but I guess, I don't know, we kind of don't like doing the same things. But then again, he's one of y'all's grandpas, so why would me and said grandpa like enjoy doing the same thing? So for example, he invited me out to Chris Rock's not laugh at my pain, child. I'm over here thinking about Kevin Hart. Like, Chris Rock had a comedy tour and he invited me. Grandpa had been bought 2 tickets. I guess initially he didn't know who he was going to take, or either the person he was going to take, they was kind of like, But basically, he told me, even though he had already planned to go with another female to the comedy, that he would disinvite her and replace me with her ticket. And one, I could care less for attending an event like that. Not saying like he's not funny, it's just that's not really something that I would want to do on myself. So even though it was free, I'm still like, I'm cool. And then 2, I kind of looked at it on the other end. I would have hated to be like the other female being invited to go to an event, and then just because you met somebody new and because I guess me and you aren't like in a relationship, like now you're disinviting me. I do feel like that is rude. And I guess I'm saying that also to say to y'all to kind of like understand his like characteristics a little bit too. He's very confident in himself and very like, it's his way or the highway. I'm gonna just let you know a few of the red flags that were present and in my face that at my grown age, I should have just been like, But then again, it's like, is it really a red flag, or it's like, you know, everybody's just different. Like, nobody's perfect. So, I don't know. So, I'm coming over to his house, and again, let me remind you, Snellville is out here, okay? I live all the way over here, just so y'all know. So, I was literally traveling to go see this man, okay? When I would go over his house, number one, he would always want me to spend the night. Now, at my grown age, and because I have my own apartment, I do not do that. I do not be spending the night over men's houses, okay? For what? Unless you live in a mansion with a butler service and a pool in your backyard, or a jacuzzi, heated, bubble baths. Like, I just don't see the need to spend the night. No. So he will always get mad, like legit, like, because I wouldn't want to spend the night. And I'm just like, sir, relax. Like, I'll come over again next week. Like, it's not that deep. And then, of course, y'all know why I didn't want to spend the night. Like, do we even have to mention why I didn't want to spend the night? For those of you who are like, trying to be funny, be like, girl, I have no idea why you didn't want to spend the night. Why you didn't want to spend the night? I didn't even want to think or have the thought of being in his like feng shui, you know, after hours. So I just played it cool and would never spend the night. So out of the few times that we have hung out, he mentions how he wants to go on a trip. He mentioned he wanted to go on a vacation. And I was like, okay, well, let me throw out some places. St. Lucia, Cabo, Mexico, and Turks and Caicos were the 3 options. St. Lucia, Cabo, Mexico, Turks and Caicos. Those were the 3 options that I gave him, because since I work for the airlines, Grandpa was gonna be flying on my buddy pass, okay? That's just what it was. So I gave him 3 options for where we would easily accessible there, easily accessible back. Really, like, not having any issue getting there, not having any issues coming back. That was my thought process. I didn't really like think of it, oh, let's go on a dream vacation. It was just like, no, like, let's just go somewhere quick, cool, calm, collective. The first issue that we came about before we even got to the airport and so forth for the trip, was the prepping part for the trip. I listed for the flight, paid for the flight. I sent him over the confirmation and stuff, just so that way he can also be aware of like what's going on. A passport was needed, along with filling out, I think, a health form for St. Lucia was also needed, where I would have to put in how long we would be staying, where we would be staying, what's our reason for travel, and so forth. That's very common when you're traveling overseas, to fill out some form of document, so that way they're aware of all of your information. This man kept rushing me to fill out the form, and I'm like, we have over a month before the trip even takes place. Like, why do I need to fill this out today? Why do I need to fill this out today? That was like a whole like situation, because I'm just like, it's not that deep. But then again, as you can see, that's where the age difference, you know, comes in. Like, I'm a millennial, so I kind of like do things at my own pace, kind of last minute. But the most important thing was already taken care of, which was listing for the flight, sending him the itinerary. That's already done, because he needed that so that way he can then book the hotel accommodation. That's the most important part, the itinerary, not filling out the health form. Sorry, I know I'm getting a little frustrated, but that shouldn't have been a situation, and he definitely made it a situation. And then at his grown age, he likes to do things ASAP, you know, like how granddads operate. It's 2 days before the trip, and just so I can satisfy his needs, I drive all the way to Snellville, just so that way I can like fill out the health form information and so forth in front of him, so he can calm his nerves. So that way Grandpa can calm his nerves. It wasn't until I was filling out the health form information that I found out his actual age. Now, will I be disclosing his age on this story T with Bree? Nah. But just now, he was Grandpa Shouty Down. He was one of y'all grandpa. And y'all know how old y'all grandpa is. Not y'all daddy, y'all grandpa. So we're just gonna leave it at that. Okay? And as he's like telling me that information, I hit him with the, you know, the whole Kevin Hart, like, God damn. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Because it was a thought.
I'm sorry.
No, seriously, it was a thought. It was a thought, and I blurted it out. I did not mean it that way.
I'm fine.
You know, you have to like second guess yourself, like when somebody tell you that type of age. Okay. We don't end up seeing each other until the boarding process. And that's on my behalf, because he, you know, Granddaddy and them, they begin to the airport mad early. I'm not finna do all of that. The gate agent ended up giving us Comfort Plus. But it's good that I spoke with her, because she told me that 2 seats together were in main cabin. But if we didn't mind sitting separately, we can sit in Comfort Plus. And I was like, okay, cool, that's perfect. Like, I'm grown. We don't need to sit together like for a 4.5-hour flight to St. Lucia. Like, we don't have to do that. So the whole trip, I just want to let y'all know, it's like I was given grandchild. Or you can kind of look at it as like I'm a caring person. I knew because of his, like, I would just say situation. I'm not going to say because like he's like form of like handicap, because then again, like, he can walk, so like there's no point of me even saying like he's handicapped. But basically, because of his situation, I asked the gate agent to give him the aisle seat and then give me the window, because she had it switched where she gave me the aisle and him the window. And I was like, no, you can give him the aisle and then give me the window. So that's how it was. He's like really nervous, and he's like texting me because, you know, we're not sitting next to each other. Like, hey, I'm so nervous, but I want to thank you so much for, you know, all that you've done leading up to this point. Like, it really means a lot to me. So he's like showing me his gratitude, because I don't know if y'all noticed, but it's not just a thing just because you know somebody who works in the airline to like give you a buddy pass or put you on a travel companion pass and so forth. Like that's not just like a thing. I feel like you have to kind of be like granted that. So yeah, like I'm cool with you, and because everything's under my name, I'll pay for it. Like, and then again, I'm okay with going like kind of like 50-50 on this vacation. We get to St. Lucia. So, you know, we have to go through customs. That may have been like the first sign of like all eyes on us, I guess, because you have this millennial female who's like cute. I mean, I guess I'm cute, with this like grandpa. So I don't know if the stares that we were getting was like, oh, grandpa's traveling with his granddaughter, or if it was more so like, what's tea now? I have no idea. And then I'm also the type of person where I'm very confident within myself. So even if you're staring at me like and trying to figure out like what is tea, that does not affect me in any form of fashion. That's why I'm actually being real with y'all and giving y'all like the story tea. So the first thing that I just found to be so funny, when it came down to our transportation, we ended up catching a taxi, not an Uber, a taxi from the St. Lucia airport, which was like here, the south of St. Lucia, up to like the northern part of St. Lucia. So we caught that by taxi, and the taxi driver, he didn't know what was going on. So he was just like, yes, I can basically assist you and your dad. Your dad. Too funny. So he gets the luggage, and that's basically what I'm saying. Like, he was like, I can assist you. When he meant like assist, I can get your luggage for you and your dad. I just let that roll over my head. You can think whatever you want to think. You can think he my baby daddy. You can think he my boyfriend. You can think he my uncle, cousin, godfather. I'll let you think whatever you want to think. Because at the end of the day, I'm in St. Lucia to have a good time. Okay? And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. We get to this luxury, I want to say like 4 or 5 star all-inclusive hotel in the northern part of St. Lucia. This hotel was literally like top tier. If you want to experience an amazing time in St. Lucia, I would highly recommend the hotel that we stayed at. Everything chef's kiss in regards to customer service. Now the food, on the other hand, we can talk more details about that, but ambiance, scenery, the things to do, endless. The first issue that me and Grandpa had was when we were checking in. So you sit down at these like luxury style resorts while you're checking in, so that way they can get you all your information. So that way they can get all of your information. They offer you some like hors d'oeuvres, something to drink, and so forth. This fool, well, he's not a fool, but basically Grandpa didn't know that when it comes to an all-inclusive resort, you're paying by head, not by room. So he listed only himself under the reservation. Brianna did not exist. So that was an issue, because when he gets his wristlet and everything else that they gave him, like, hello, what the fuck about me? So he just didn't know. So it's like, I'm gonna leave it at that. He didn't know. So he's like getting upset with the employee, like, I've already paid for the room. This is my confirmation. Why can't you just give her the wristband? Basically, what we had to do was call the Marriott, because it was a Marriott brand hotel, and add me to the reservation. So that way he can pay the difference. While he's like filling out the paperwork, I tell him I'll Google the number. Cause he's sitting over here like clueless. Like he don't know. Like I guess because he realized he lost that argument with the employee. Like, no, they're not just going to give me a wristband when my name's not on the reservation. So he was like in his little feelings already. So I show him the number to call. And do you know Grandpa had the nerve to get loud with me at the table in front of the employee? Y'all, I cannot make this shit up. I'm like, I didn't even know that this was even going to be a situation. I'm helping your ass out, okay? So I show him the number for the Marriott, and he just turns to me, well, why can't you call them? I said, whoa. Whoa. What the fuck are you yelling for? I'm right here. I am right here. And I was like, if I call them, I'm not gonna know what the fuck to tell them, because they're gonna need all of your old ass information. Pipe down, Grandpa. So me, I go help myself to the hors d'oeuvres, and I see that they have like a wall full of liquor. So why the fuck not? And so me still being a kind person, I like, while he's filling out paperwork, I like ask him like, hey, what type of drinks do you want? Because they have like a wall full of liquor. So he wanted rum. So I go over there and I tell the bartender what Grandpa wants. And then I get myself something as well. But because the staff at this resort was like young, hip, you know, St. Lucians, like, this is not even being cocky or any type of sort. Y'all can take it how y'all want to, but they found me very attractive, okay? And I know all of them were very the fuck confused at what type of situation me and Grandpa had going on. But it's cool because I was confused at what the fuck situation me and Grandpa had going on. Because after you raise your voice at me for a situation that has nothing to do with me, like, I'm kind of just like, I'm gonna leave you alone for a minute because you're doing too much. So while the bartender is over there legit flirting with me, at this point, I'm flirting back because, I mean, they be cute. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to the Caribbean island and have seen the Caribbean men. One, they be fit. Two, their form of skin is so pure. Like, that form of chocolate, like, what is acne over in the islands? Like, I don't even think they know what that is. And I don't know, like, it's just something about a strong black man, a dark-skinned black man. So, like, I was in eye candy heaven. So yes, I'm flirting back. I don't care nothing about Grandpa and his cranky ass behind me at this point. So we go out to eat, and I let him pick the place because I think y'all know at this point, I'm just like, let's just get to the excursions. Let's just relax the first night. So I let him do all the brain work. Wherever you wanted to go out to eat, I'm cool. Because at the end of the day, this is the all-inclusive luxury resort. And I feel like, you know, nothing can fail us at this point. Our first full day in St. Lucia. It's sunny. We have amazing views from our balcony. We ended up meeting a local at the resort that was going to be basically like our tour guide for our entire stay in St. Lucia. He's a St. Lucian. He knows the island. He has a business being a tour guide. So it was cool. Like, it just worked out. So this tour guide that was taking us around St. Lucia for our entire stay of our trip, was a millennial, was fit, had a Caribbean accent. Y'all, I think y'all know where I'm going with this. Like, he was definitely sitting at a good 8 out of 10. Like, he was sitting at a good 8. So we go to the excursion. I know y'all probably like, Brie, why you giving us that face? Did y'all get into it again? Y'all know the fuck we did. Y'all know the fuck we did. That's why we sitting here with the story tea, okay? Me and your granddaddy, your grandpa, got into it again. And it was like the craziest thing as to like why we got into it. We got into it because Grandpa felt some type of way that so basically, walking in St. Lucia is like very like hilly. You know, it's not really like modern. So there was a lot of like holes and like rocks. It wasn't a level ground. So Grandpa felt some type of way that I was trying to like hold on to him and just like assist him with like walking up some of the stairwells, coming down some of the stairwells, like leading up to the excursion. And then I guess y'all looking at this like, no, you should have just let Granddad fend for himself. But why would I watch the person who I go on a trip with struggle and be like 10 feet behind me because he can't keep up? Like, I just don't see, like, why would I do that? So instead of doing that, I'm slowing my pace so that I can walk with him at his pace. And like anytime we have to like step over something or like go down something leading up to the excursion, like I'm helping him. And he got mad about that. And he vocalized that he was irritated that I was helping him. Cool. Say no more. Say no more. Fend for yourself, Granddad. I'm done. So while we're at the mud bath, it's a whole bunch going on because we're not the only people at this excursion. There's other tour guides with other travelers. It's very busy. It's a lot going on. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 different mud baths. And like the thing to do is to like once you relax in one of the mud baths, then you get the clay and you put it all over your body and so forth. Because Grandpa kind of like pissed me off. Again, my mindset was fend for your fucking self. I'm not helping you no more. So I was not finna help him put on that clay mask. And every other couple that was there, or let's say people who like travel together, was like doing it in a romantic way where they were like helping their significant other like put on the clay. You turn around and you put the clay on your back because you're supposed to be fully embedded in the clay, like even on your face. So we're literally at this excursion and I'm not really saying nothing to him. He's not really saying nothing to me. I'm in my own mud bath. He's in his own mud bath. Like, we were in like 2 separate pools at each time. Like, we were never in the same pool. So our second excursion that we did was the waterfall. And it was kind of like hard to like watch the person who I came on this trip with to have a good time, you know, just like take his sweet time, like getting up the stairs. That's what I mean. Like, he can walk, he's not disabled, but then again, who knows what happened with his time in the military. And I was never going to ask him like, oh, you know, why do you walk with a limp and so forth. But it took him some time to like do anything like active. He had to do it at his own pace. So it's like I'm just kind of quiet, like walking behind him as he like does this because, you know, he don't want me to help him, so I'm not helping him. And throughout our excursions, like we were still getting a lot of like stares because I feel like everybody just wanted to know like what the fuck is going on. Like, is that your daddy, your boyfriend, your cousin, your uncle, your godfather? Like, who the fuck is this husband? Like, fill us in. Because they're seeing us together but like we're not really like talking. So I basically was like on this trip kind of like soloing it. And if you follow me on Instagram, then like all of the content that you see me post, it kind of gave off like solo traveler vibes. And I just allowed people to go with that concept that I was in St. Lucia by myself, living it up. Like, even though me and Grandpa weren't seeing eye to eye, and I'm like not laughing with him, definitely not touching him, I still wanted him to get the full St. Lucia experience. So I was still willing to take all of his pictures with the waterfall like behind him. I kind of like told him where to stand so that way he can get like a good video and then a good candid picture. So it's like, I feel like I'm still a sweet person. So I still wanted him to enjoy himself in St. Lucia, which is crazy because his whole persona and the way he handled things, like he got to work on that. But I kind of looked past that because I still wanted him to enjoy himself in St. Lucia, because I was still technically enjoying myself. I did not let whatever he had going on, whatever demons he was fighting, I did not let that disturb me or my trip in paradise. Because if you don't know, St. Lucia is like a luxury, like anniversary vacation honeymoon destination. So I was still getting those vibes because I'm in paradise. After those part of the excursions, the last part that we did before we went back to the hotel was we went out to eat at a local St. Lucian like cafe. And so the entire trip, I will say, like, I didn't really have to like come out of my pocket unless like I was like purchasing souvenirs. But when it came to like things outside of the hotel, like Grandpa paid for all the excursions, he paid for like the food, but other than that, everything we did in the hotel or at the resort was all inclusive, so there was really no money that had to be paid. So while we're at the table, remember it's all three of us, me and Granddad are not like engaging in conversation. Me and the tour guide are engaging in conversation. We're talking about TikTok. We're talking about the culture, the history of St. Lucia. Because again, I'm not going to let whatever demons Grandpa is fighting mess up my trip that I put in PTO for to come. Like, it's not like I just because I work for the airlines doesn't mean I can just pop up in cities like boom bada bam. Like, no, I have to put in PTO and things of that nature. So I literally had to maneuver my life for this trip. So I'm going to enjoy my trip at all means possible, at all costs. Looking from the outside in, I mean, I guess it kind of looked like me and the tour guide were flirting, but not really. It's just like we just bonded, you know? And he wasn't letting whatever negative energy that was coming from Grandpa even rub off on him. So I appreciated that about him because we was in our own little world. It's nighttime, and y'all know, anywhere I go, my hookah goes, okay? I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. So yes, I brought my hookah on this trip. The hotel had like this like bathtub like placed inside the room. So you can either shower in the stand-in shower, or you can take a bath in like this bathtub that's like in the middle of the room. So that's what the fuck I did. I'm like making my hookah so that way I can smoke my hookah as I'm like in the tub. I had my iPad out so that way I can like watch like, you know, YouTube and stuff like that. Like, I was trying to set the mood for myself because I'm still trying to enjoy myself on this trip. Grandpa is about half asleep on the bed because he goes to bed very, very early, might I add. Grandpa wakes up as I'm like in my own little vibe and was like, why are you smoking hookah in our hotel? I'm not trying to get kicked out of here. Can you go smoke that outside? I'm naked in my own little zone, catching a vibe. At this point, vibe is gone. Vibe who? Vibes on vibes where? He killed that. He killed that. And he didn't say it how I'm saying it, like this in this tone. It was more so out of like frustration. I'm chilling outside where I have to smoke my hookah now, which is cool with me because I didn't pay for the room. So whatever you want, master. I'm outside smoking my hookah and I just see somebody in my peripheral. And when I say I see somebody fully nude, hanging, everything hanging. He opens the patio door and says,
"Baby, I want some love. After you're done smoking some hookah, can I have some love?"
Child, I don't know what crack this man was smoking. I don't know what corner or floor this man don't bumped his head on, because you are out your rabid ass military, retired, did your 20 years, thinking the world revolves around you. You out of your psychotic mind if you think that I am touching you. Oh my God. So after I'm done smoking my hookah, I keep my earbuds in and I keep my iPad with me and I put on my night clothes and we was in a king size bed. Child, at this point it may have been an XL king. That bed was so huge. Literally like 4 people could have slept on that bed. So I like lay on my side and I'm still having my headphones. I'm still in my own little zone. And I think he knew, because again, like, he a grown man. He knew I was not fucking with him. He knew, like, he just knew wasn't no type of loving coming from me. We are now getting towards the end of the trip. This is the last day and we're about to head to the airport. So Grandpa is mad at me. I don't give a fuck. So we go grab breakfast. It's like an all-inclusive buffet. He's not talking to me. He's like drinking his coffee, eating his food, cutting it up all nicely. I'm over here chit-chatting with the, locals, the St. Lucians who like work at the actual resort. So the people who were like making the food, the omelets and so forth. I'm still having a good time because it's my last day before we head back. So I come to the table all happy with a smile on my face because you're not fin to rain on my parade. And we eat in silence. We do not talk. I have my headphones in. I have my my phone out as I'm eating, watching YouTube. And as we're walking back to, our room, I'm telling everyone bye. Like, I'll come back and see you. I'll be coming back to see you. Not a we, because there was no we. There wasn't a we from, I think, when we got to St. Lucia. There was no we from when we got to the resort. We, no. Me, yo, I'm coming back. Not me and Granddad. When our tour guide comes to pick us up, this is the same tour guide. I'm like so happy to see him. So when I see him, we greet each other with a hug. Because at this point, who the fuck? Granddad who? I don't know that man. Me and Granddad, we do not talk the entire ride. I know, like, you're probably like, damn, Bree, when the fuck did you and Grandpa talk? Child, I don't know. I'm not even finna think about when me and him was on good terms. All I know is we did not talk on the whole ride back to the airport. And then again, this is where we're staying, the northern part of St. Lucia, and this is our, you know, our route back to the south part of St. Lucia to the airport. All of this, and Grandpa, he's sitting on his side in the back, and he's like consuming all of this. And I'm like, yes, I have to come back. Like, I feel like when I come back, it'll be like a better experience. I'll be able to do more. I'll be able to engage in nightlife. Because that's also like another thing that like me and Grandpa just did not see eye to eye on. This man did not want to leave this fucking resort. He did not want to leave this resort. And I don't know if it's because he spent an arm and a leg for it to be like all inclusive, a 4- or 5-star resort. But I need to get in the field. I need to get in the field of St. Lucia and be consumed with the St. Lucia culture. And I can't do that being surrounded by all freaking Americans at this resort. It's cute, it's beautiful. I'm enjoying my time here. The vibes are here. But I need to get in the field and, you know, smell what St. Lucia is all about, see what St. Lucia is all about. Like, you know, I wanted to get into some nightlife, you know, woo, woo, yeah. Ooh, I can't even do the dance. But Granddad was trying to be in bed by 9 o'clock, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? I'm sitting like behind the driver's side of where the tour guide is. So when we talk, it's like him looking in his rearview mirror, and that's how like he's like looking at me. Y'all, I kid y'all not. This tour guide was giving me the fucking eyes. And y'all probably like, girl, what is the eyes? Y'all know the eyes. Y'all know the eyes of a man who's like interested in you, like finds you attractive, like I don't know if it's called googly eyes, but he was giving me the eyes. And baby, I was consuming it, okay? When we get to the airport, because Grandpa, like y'all, like I said, like to get to the airport 11 hours before the freaking flight leaves. We had like literally 2 hours to kill before we can even like start boarding. Not depart, but start boarding. And that shit to this day pisses me off. I still could have had time to explore St. Louis. That's why I'm like, I'm going back. Y'all gonna see me go back to St. Lucia and live my best life, because this, y'all Grandpa had me fucked up, okay? I walked my happy ass up to the gate agent because I know how this works. She sees that we booked this flight together. She's gonna want to put us together. And I was not finna do that. So I informed the gate agent that's working the flight, you do not have to sit me with Grandpa. Actually, let me tell you, from the open seats that you have available, make sure Grandpa gets an aisle seat, because I'm still looking out for him, as any good granddaughter would do. Because at this point, that's what the fuck I guess you should just call me, his granddaughter. Because I'm damn sure not that man's boo. Here, so I make sure Grandpa is sitting in an aisle seat in comfort, because I know he needs to have that extra leg room and be able to get up and so forth. And I know he likes to drink. When it comes to me, you don't have to put me in comfort. I would actually prefer a window seat in main cabin, because I just don't want to be around this man. And because there was like a whole empty row in main cabin, I informed the gate agent that's where I want to sit. So he boards, you know, with Comfort Plus, and I board with main cabin. This man was so confused when he saw me coming down the aircraft. When he saw me coming down the aisle, he was just like looking at me. And y'all probably like, girl, why you do Granddad like that? Because I don't know this man. I don't know this man. Not by the way he was acting. I do not even acknowledge him. I sport head up. I just continue to walk to my seat. I don't acknowledge him. I knew that I was going to like block his, not even delete, block his number, because find somebody else to do it. we're just not here. And I'm okay with that. We're just not here. You enjoyed yourself in St. Lucia. I'm happy you was able to experience, you know, this new island. I was able to enjoy myself in St. Lucia, but I'm gonna have to come back and live my best life. I do not regret anything of how my actions played, like, on this trip. But Baecation who? That, no. Baecation gone the fuck wrong. And it's not even like anything that I would say like, oh, you can like learn from like these mistakes that I've made, because at the end of the day, life is life be lifing, and you just go through different things, you know, on a daily basis. So I just so happened to go on this trip overseas with one of y'all grandpas who I guess didn't know that we wouldn't really see like eye to eye until we were physically in each other's like intimate space, like 24 hours.